This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Karaba Avenue, and I am Jul Denjai. Thank you for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Now, ahead of the 16th convocation of the UTG on Sunday, President Adama Barrow received the convocation committee at State House in Banjul on Tuesday. Now, Jarra Soma Mosque committee members paid a courtesy and thank you call on President Barrow on Tuesday following the completion of the construction of the town's Grand Mosque. The chairman of the Securities Subcommittee for the hosting of the 15th OIC Summit has highlighted security arrangements for the safety and protection of state guests and the public during the summit. The Gambia Bureau of Statistics held a training of trainers on Tuesday ahead of the commencement of next month's population and housing census. Now, the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, in collaboration with the Pharmaceutical Society of the Gambia, commenced its 36th annual general meeting, scientific symposium, and 66th council meeting on Tuesday. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, this is QTV News with me, Jul Denjai. Now, ahead of the 16th convocation of the UTG, President Barrow received the convocation committee at the State House in Banjul on Tuesday. The committee briefed him on their preparedness ahead of Sunday's event. And Sumane Sonyasi was at the State House, and he now reports.
Led by Professor Pierre Gomez, the Minister for Higher Education and the Vice Chancellor of the UTG, Professor Herbert Robinson, the committee briefed the head of state, who is also the university's chancellor, about the 16th convocation, scheduled for April 21, 2024. Following their meeting with the president, UTG Vice Chancellor Professor Herbert Robinson told the press that for the first time, the convocation will be held at the university campus at Faraba Banta, and went on to share the number of students to graduate in various fields.
We have, for the School of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, we have 38 students. For the School of Arts and Sciences, we have 280. For School of Business and Public Administration, we have 417. For School of Engineering and Architecture, we have 30. For the first time in the history of this country, we'll be having graduates in civil engineering, 10 of them.
While emphasizing the UTG's role in the country's socio-economic advancement, Professor Robinson says the university takes pride in training young people, many of whom are contributing meaningfully to national development.
For School of Education, we have 214 students that will be graduating. School of Information Technology and Communication, we have 51. School of Journalism, adding to the pool of journalists, we have another 12 students in that area. Faculty of Law, we have 45 students. School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, which includes medicine, nursing, public health, we have 151 students. And for our postgraduate programs, which is the School of Graduate and Research, those that are doing masters and PhDs, we have 91, which includes over 10 students that will be graduating with PhD degrees. So we are extremely delighted.
Furthermore, Professor Robinson says the Gambian leader acknowledged the UTG's impact and commended the staff and management for what he described as their exemplary role in changing lives through impactful education programs.
The president was very excited about it. He commended the university community, particularly the governing council, staff of university, for the work that they've done. Tremendous work, and it's a significant achievement. And he really pledged his support.
On the day of the convocation, after completing years of hard studies, students will be conferred variously with bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees, joining the thousands to have graduated from the UTG over the years, some of whom now occupy senior positions in both state and non-state institutions within and outside the country. And Swaneto Nyasi for QTV News.
Now, Jarra Soma Mosque committee members paid a courtesy and thank you call on President Adama Barrow on Tuesday and also formally invited him to the opening of the town's Grand Mosque, partly funded by the president. And Sumane Sonyasi again.
They were at the presidency to formally convey the community's gratitude to President Barrow for supporting the Jarra Central Mosque construction project and to invite him to the inauguration ceremony scheduled for May 17th. Chief Yaya Jajusi says the community of Jarra is grateful to the president for supporting the construction of a house of worship in their community. The president played a huge role in the construction of the mosque. He personally contributed and facilitated many things for us. And it is because of his contribution, along with our people in the diaspora, that we were able to complete the construction. So, we're here to thank him and to invite him to the opening ceremony. Chief Jajusi's message of gratitude was echoed by Alhaji Sekou Kante, the Imam of the Soma Central Mosque, and Alhaji Abdul Jajusi, a member of the mosque committee. They say the community is inviting the president to celebrate the opening of the mosque with them, as it is an important occasion in the town's history. We did ask him to help us construct a mosque, but never expected it to happen this soon. And so as a community, we appreciate his generosity and leadership. He made a promise and kept his word. We will continue to pray for him and his family. I think the project cost us around $20 million. And the president's contribution, both financial and in kind, covered at least half that amount. So it is a huge contribution, and we are forever grateful. I wish to also acknowledge the support of members of our community in the diaspora. With the mosque inauguration scheduled for the 17th of May 2024, community leaders, particularly the mosque committee, say they look forward to hosting the president in their town. Ansumana Sonyase for KTV News.
That report there by Ansumana Esonyasi will take us to a commercial break. When we return, we have some more local stories for you. Do stay tuned.
The Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
seeni nopp ma dee leen lu am solo Yàlla Def Enterprise di compagnie bu wàcc ci biir réew mi ak bànneexu kese jëlal ma ndaw si jamono bi muy fobeere ni mu sonnee ca la muy fomp dara ca baaxul teg si setul ay produit baaxul noonu la ko borom këram bettee indil ko bànneex bu amul fen du yéen a gis bile bànneex Yàlla Def Enterprise ko wàcce ci réew mi te gis nga produit yi Mubarak liquid soap Princess Awa bii nag mooy Mubarak bleach bii mooy eau de Javel bi nga xam ne dañu ko liggéey ak limon waaye li ci gën a tee neex mooy compagnie baa ngi fii ci biir réew mi gis nga liquid bii di Mubarak liquid soap bii moo gën ci yow miy raxas bool moo gën ci yow miy fóot sa yére waaye moo gën ci yow miy fobere xoolal ndaw si ba mu ko sottee ci biir paan bi ba mu ko yëngale gis nga ni mu xubee waaye noonu la gaawee setal te noonu la amee xet gu neex la lay bàyyi ci seen te gis nga ni ñu leen koy firndelee yéen a ngi gis ni ñu koy yebee ci seen oto noonu lañ koy waree di ko tasaare ci biir réew mi ngir yombalal ko askan wi te gis nga Yàlla Def Enterprise ni mu baaxee te sell noonu la ñu garanté bi le produit noonu la baaxee ñu liggéey ko ci anam yu mucc ayib Mubarak Enterprise compagnie baa ngi fii ci biir réew ma nga ca Sàllaaji Mariama Kunda Johnson yow mi soxla produit bi pour ñu de ko supply ci sa boutique nga di ko jaay wala nga nekk ci marché bi wala supermarket wala bépp boutique ci biir réew mi yow mi nekk ci hôtel yi wala restaurant yi wala ngeen bëgg koo jëfandikoo ci seeni kër mën ngeen a jël nombre bi ngeen jokkoo ak ñoom 225 0939 wala 597 3321 Yàlla Def Enterprise ci mim réew du ay fodé
Thank you very much for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, this is QTV News with me, Julde Jai. And now to the rest of our stories. The chairperson of the Securities Subcommittee for the hosting of the 15th OIC Summit has reassured Gambia's readiness to host the summit in May, which is the world's second largest gathering of world leaders. As QTV's Momodu Lamin Choi reports, the committee's chair has been highlighting security arrangements for the safety and protection of state guests and the public.
Hosting the world's second largest gathering of world leaders is a source of national pride, the management of which is a huge task. As the host of the 15th OIC Summit in May, the Gambia will be the destination of some of the most high-profile world leaders, including heads of states, ministers, diplomats, and other dignitaries. Given the nature of such a convergence, the highest level of security is a prerequisite for the event's success. As such, since 2018, the Security Subcommittee of the OIC's Local Organizing Committee has been working with actors in Gambia's security sector to prepare for the big event. Tamsir Jassy is the Security Subcommittee chair.
So we are confident that everything is in place, the personnel, the equipment, the plans, and everything. We're just waiting for the world to come in.
So we are fully prepared. Our security is fully prepared.
That's the exact message I want to send out to the world. Security-wise, we are ready. You are welcome to the Gambia.
The airport, the event venue and its surrounding, hotels hosting the guests, and other vicinities are critical areas covered in the summit's security strategy.
Well, we have looked at the center and decided that at least 9-kilometer circumference from the center would be considered as OIC impacted area. And we have identified 5 key areas that security is going to be focused on. That's the airport, which is obvious, the center, which is again obvious, the residence where the delegates and these heads of states would be, that is important. Also the route that these delegates would be traveling on to and from the airport to their residence to the center for the meetings. These are areas of interest to us.
Maintaining public safety and security is significant before, during, and after the summit. Security forces are set to be deployed not only close to the event venue, but across regions in the country.
There has been a national strategy in order to make sure that our critical infrastructure is well protected, and that the security strategies that are in place in all of our regions are fortified, and that nothing is left to chance. We are not only focusing on the security of those that are coming, we're also focusing on the security of the members of the community of the Gambia.
Managing security for this global event will also require logistic arrangements for those in charge of protection and safety of the guests and the public. One of these is access to utilities for security patrols.
What we did as a security subcommittee is that we have identified all of our needs to carry out a successful security operation, and all of our needs have been met, including vehicles. The government has provided us with all that what we need to do this job. So that's not an issue at this time.
Hosting the OIC Summit will be an enormous experience for our country. In fact, it will mark the first time the Gambia is hosting such a high-profile event. No matter how prepared our security is, Gambians are collectively responsible for maintaining peace and stability before, during, and after the summit. Mohamed Lamin Chai, QTV News.
Now, following mechanical problems that have brought the country's cross-river ferry service to a halt, President Adama Barrow has paid a surprise visit to the Banjul shipyard, where the grounded ferries are undergoing maintenance. During the surprise visit, the head of state has apologized to the customers for the condition of the ferries, which has forced temporary shutdown of services. Momodu Lamin Choi again.
On Tuesday afternoon, officials and engineers at the Banjul shipyard received an unexpected guest, President Adama Barrow. He's on a surprise visit to inspect the ferries, all of which are out of service due to various mechanical problems. The president is being briefed on efforts to get the ferries back in operation Abdoulaye Tambedo is the general manager of the Gambia Ferry Services.
We want to say that after the ferry is on-slipped, there will be engineering works. I can explain that the engines are already in stock in the GPA. It was received about a month and a half ago. But because of the urgency of these works, the marine works to be removed, because the technicians advised that if we could have installed the engines about a month, 2 months ago. But once you do it, you are causing more damage to the new engines. Let's do remove all the marine works, repainting, and then install the engines. The engines, once the ferry goes down, as Mr. Jai said, this weekend, the engines will be installed in 1 week or 2 weeks' time after the ferry is brought down.
Accompanying the president on this visit is his new information minister, Dr. Ismaila Sise.
His Excellency the President is very concerned and also very keen about this ferry issue. The priority of this government is to ensure public service delivery. And as you rightly said, this is a social service that we offer to the Gambian people. So this issue has been very important for him. That is why he said he must come here to follow the progress of what is happening, to show that these are priority for the government. Because it's in nobody's interest to see these ferries all stranded. And I think, like you rightly said, we should learn from this, because maintenance is very important.
The president's visit also covered premises of the port's terminal and site, where, in the absence of the ferry service, local boats carry passengers between Banjul and Barra. Here is the president's first reaction to what he has gathered from this surprise visit. He begins with an apology to the public for the condition of the ferries.
But first, we will apologize to the public and the customers for the apply their effort. And today, the services we have been offering for years. They have stopped temporarily. That is not our wish. That is not what we want. But we should have serviced this ferry long time.
President Barrow acknowledges challenges maintaining the operations of the ferries and government's plan to bring solutions.
It's not easy to manage the ferry. It's expensive to run it. It's costly. And this is not commercial.
It's not commercial.
It's a social
service.
That's a social service it is offering. That's also a challenge. Overheads are very, very high. But the government also have made their plans, and we are about to sign 2 new ferries. And I think the signing will be tomorrow officially. To sign new 2 ferries, but the issue of ferry is not quick fix. You don't go to the shop and buy it. They have to build the ferry, and I think it will take a duration of 18 months to build a ferry. But we will use the capacity that we have back home to make sure that we maintenance these ferries, so that we will be offering the services that we have been doing for the past years.
This Banjul-Barra ferry crossing point is a major transport route connecting the north and southern parts of the country. Currently, the Gambia Ferry Services ceased operations after one of its ferries, Kanilai, got stranded at sea following engine failure. Mahmoud Lamin, QTV News.
Now, the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, GBOS, held a training of trainers on Tuesday ahead of the upcoming population and housing census scheduled for May and June 2024. Momodu Gajaga was at the event, and this is his report.
The beneficiaries in the training of trainers will also conduct a step-down training for enumerators, who will be responsible for data collection during the census. The objective of the 2024 census, according to GBOS, is to provide statistics on demographic, social and economic characteristics of the population, household and housing characteristics. Nyakasi MB Sanyang is the Statistician General of GBOS.
Censuses, particularly digital censuses, are resource intensive. They involve a lot of human, material, and financial resources. And therefore, it is our responsibility to ensure that the best is achieved. Distinguished participants, this also to say that the quality of this training is crucial to the success of the census.
The data, which will be collected during the census, is expected to be beneficial to both central and local government to plan for various social services like education, health, housing and sanitation, amongst others. UNFPA The Gambia is one of GBOS's partners. Lamin Kamara spoke on behalf of the UNFPA country representative.
As you are well aware, the data collected through the census will serve to inform decision-making, resource allocation requirements, and provide a comprehensive understanding of a country's demographic landscape. It is through this invaluable information that we can address the needs of the citizens of the Gambia and the people who live in this country effectively.
The World Bank is also one of the biggest partners in the Gambia's population and housing census exercise. Sering Toure, representing the World Bank, hailed GBOS for the strides taken to conduct a successful census.
The World Bank is incredibly pleased to note the progress that's been registered thus far. The commencement of the training of trainers, which follows the conclusion of the pilot census, demonstrates the significant efforts invested by the GBOS team and all the stakeholders towards the successful implementation of the Gambia's first digital census.
The population and housing census is held every 10 years, with the previous one taking place in 2013. According to GBOS officials, the 2024 census will be digitized using tablets to store data, thus easing the work of the enumerators. Sering Falunjai, chairperson of the National Statistics Council, says the census is important, and as such, this training is essential.
As trainers, you may have your own opinion on issues. You may have your own beliefs. But what is critical is the common understanding you take away from here. We all need to have the same understanding. We all need to have the same interpretation of issues.
The population and housing census is important for the Gambia to get the accurate data of its people. The public is therefore urged to cooperate with the enumerators during data collection. Mamadou Gajaga, KTV News.
The West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, in collaboration with the Pharmaceutical Society of the Gambia, commenced its 36th Annual General Meeting, Scientific Symposium and 66th Council Meeting on Tuesday under the theme Medicine Safety. Lena E. Igwenyiba has the story.
The West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, WAPCP, an agency of the West African Health Organization, WAHO, conducts a postgraduate professional training program leading to fellowship awards to meet the expanding roles of pharmacists worldwide and the changing needs of society in pharmaceutical care. The 36th Annual General Meeting of the West Africa Postgraduate College of Pharmacists had 81 students in attendance who were inducted as fellows in various specialties offered by the college, having successfully passed the final examination of the 4-year fellowship program. Fatou Kinte, Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, represented the Minister of...
The WAPCP Annual General Meeting serves as a pivotal platform for pharmacists to converge, exchange knowledge, and collectively devise strategies to address pressing challenges facing the pharmaceutical sector in our region. This August gathering not only fosters networking opportunities, but also facilitates the dissemination of cutting-edge research, innovative practices, and evidence-based solutions, crucial to advancing pharmaceutical system agendas across West Africa.
Makiu Jane Kaira, President of the Pharmaceutical Society of the Gambia, and Alhaji Mutada Sise, President of the African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, both highlighted the timeliness of the theme, Medicine Safety.
It is a very important theme. I think it is very fresh in everyone's mind that the issue of medicine safety and the incident we had in 2002. So it makes the theme very, very apt.
The recent problem and evolution of acute kidney injuries, subsequently associated with consumption of contaminated pediatric syrups, and the consequent deaths of over 70 children here in the Gambia, is one which promptly engaged the attention and proactive action of our college. Sadly, this is a problem which has occurred in other parts of the world and must be prevented from recurring in our region. and indeed any part of the world.
Samba Sow, Director of Science, Technology and Innovation, Mohest, represented the Minister of Education and emphasized the need to empower healthcare professionals to tackle the numerous challenges communities face in assessing healthcare.
We must empower healthcare personnel to be able to steer the affairs of patient safety, as well as ensure that they advocate for evidence-based practices and ensure that every individual receives safe and effective, as well as comprehensive and compassionate care that they deserve at a time they deserve treatment.
Other highlights of the opening ceremony include that the investiture of 2 honorary fellows, 5 foundation fellows from 3 francophone countries, namely Benin, Senegal and Togo, and 1 Lusophone country, Guinea-Bissau. There were 9 elected fellows from the West African region, among them the former Director of National Pharmaceutical Services and currently the Deputy Permanent Secretary with the Gambia's Ministry of Health, Mr. Babanding Sabali. Reporting for KTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
Well, I'm afraid that's all for the news, but before we end this bulletin, here is a recap of the headlines. Now, ahead of the 16th convocation of the UTG on Sunday, President Barrow received the convocation committee at State House in Banjul on Tuesday. Jarra Soma Mosque committee members paid a courtesy and thank you call on President Adama Barrow on Tuesday following the completion of the construction of the town's Grand Mosque. The chairperson of the Security Subcommittee for the hosting of the 15th OIC Summit has highlighted security arrangements for the safety and protection of state guests and the public during the summit. Now, the Gambia Bureau of Statistics held a training of trainers on Tuesday ahead of the commencement of next month's population and housing census. The West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, in collaboration with the Pharmaceutical Society of the Gambia, commenced its 36th annual general meeting, scientific symposium, and 66th council meeting on Tuesday. That's all we have for you in this bulletin of the news. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.